Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's still your baby girl Gloria, and today you have to appreciate my effort to bring this special person who will be telling us about child care. We've heard so many rumors, or even some of us has experienced instances where we have issues with losing children, or social service, and we're always scared of these people. So I brought somebody who knows a lot about supporting women or supporting families when they have problems with social service, and he's going to be introducing himself. He will be telling you the things he does, and they have a YouTube channel, and you know how we do it on this platform. If I bring anybody that has a YouTube channel, is a sign for you to kindly go and follow them, support them, and ask them your questions, because me, I will not be able to answer you. I will allow you to introduce yourself, your name, and this is the name of your platform right in front of you. So just go ahead,
Thank
sir.
you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you for extending the invitation. I am Olalekan Odede. I'm the founder and CEO of Save the Woman. I also work as McKinsey friend and community advocate. We provide support to African, Asian minority ethnic community in the United Kingdom. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's already sounding very interesting, and I would never be able to think of something like that. But for you to think of all these and you're helping people, I have to say thank you, sir. Can you please tell us in what your platform is all about? I know you say you support Africans and Asian community. So what are the things that you do? What does your platform stand for?
Thank you very much. Basically, it was started as a group of students at TISA University here in Middlesbrough. Basically, we've got people that migrated to this country. They've got loads of skills, knowledge, experience, but unfortunately, when they get to the workplace or they even get to their school to study as international students, they expected much as this is a developed country. But unfortunately, there are some time that they will experience e-treatment or bias treatment or double standard in a way. And you can imagine how such person will feel. They feel helpless, they feel voiceless, even though they have voice, but they believe they have to live a life subjected to whatever condition they find themselves. And why? They want to pay the bills.
Yes.
You rather keep quiet or get kicked out of the workplace. And this is the only source of revenue for you. What are you going to do? For instance, a family came to study and someone has already helped them to secure accommodation, 6 months guarantee, they signed contract.
Okay.
But you spend like 3 months, nothing is being put in place. And you said you want to move out of that. They said if you move out, you are in breach of their contract. However, they are the one that did not fix everything they advertise online for you. And somebody is telling them they've got a big lawyer. They will take you to court. And these people turn left, right. Nobody is listening to them. Nobody is understanding where they're coming from. Their own side of story. Nobody wants to know. So we provide advocacy support. We provide training to empower people, because everybody get voice, but how to use those voice, very, very important. And don't forget, in this country, use of language is very important. That way you say something, somebody will misinterpret it for you. And I could show my hand now because I'm passionate about what I'm saying. But somebody will say it's aggressive, it's arrogant.
Yes.
So all these things is stereotyping, kind of abuse that way. So we speak out for people, we support them, and I also go to court. There are people that get a legal lawyer, and they were in court. Lawyer will be saying something, just you plead guilty, so that they will just look at it in a very simple way. When you know on your own you did not do this thing, there are allegations against you. So I support family as McKinsey friend.
Wow.
in a way to support them. They will be the one to speak to the judge, address the judge, but I will sort out other things for them. And if they forget anything, I can remind them. And if they get a date or anything, I can sort it out for them. And we got justice without even having the law background, But I'm also improving myself in that area now due to the necessity of it. Because you hardly see families that will be supported by any legal firm if they don't have that money. They could do pro bono if it's within the area, but some cannot travel miles to do pro bono services. So that's how we started. Any family that have been faced with any bias treatment at workplace, especially NHS people, agency workers, 0-hour contract, and their agency will not even speak for them because agency don't want their contract to be affected with that service provider. So we speak for them and they get justice. Somebody that you see that someone did something wrong, nobody report them. But if you ever try it, you will pay the price for that. So that's how we do. We provide advocacy generally. And white British also come to us. We support them as well. But this white British, sometimes you find them in those that are having a socioeconomic challenges, low income and as well. And that is why we said everybody face one challenges or the other. But if you come from ethnic minority background, yours is twice more than any other person. Our challenges are different. Our needs are different. Our problems are different. But I live your experience. I know what you feel. I know what you pass through. And I know what I can pass through as well. And I'm not out of it. I also experience it. Because while I'm speaking for you, sometimes they play a race card on me. And don't forget Charlie Chisholm. He said, you don't make progress standing on the sideline, whimpering, complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. And that is why we come up with ideas of what we are doing. And that will take us to another woman, issue of child protection, safeguarding in the UK. I believe we'll talk about that with your next question. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So I don't know if you've answered that question already, but what instances have you come in to help people, to support people? What instances, like I think you're talking about child protection, all those instances.
For instance, let's start with the student, international student. They refuse to give her a deposit because she said she wants to move out of that apartment.
Okay.
And we wrote to the employer, to the agency, let them understand. Before you know, they have to return the refund her back. We've got people that work in NHS. They suspended them unnecessarily. They subjected them to disciplinary action, and we supported them. But in terms of child protection, there's this a single parent in 2019. That was how we started. I usually see this mom come to school every morning, very agile, running, keeping fit, make sure the children are at school on time. Got to a point I did not see this mom again. I was worried. My wife told me one day, do you know that this parent, we don't used to see her? I said, yes, I also worried. So I was opportune to see the kids one day, and I wanted to stop them, but there's somebody, support worker with them, with badge. So I said, can I speak? He said, no, speak to their mom. I said, no, I've tried, her mom, it's not going. That was when I knew something wrong. So I saw the mom. I tried to speak with the mom. Mom said she's going to talk to me. She don't know who to talk to. She doesn't trust anyone at that point. So there was a time I just stopped her in a car. I said, 1 minute, please. Please talk to me. What's happening? And she cried. Water just flowed from her eyes. She said, social services have taken my 2 children.
Jesus, I just
actually she got 3 children. They wanted to take the 3rd one, but because that one age is more than what they can take, they even threatened that one. They threatened that particular lady, young girl, that if she doesn't follow them, they are going to make sure she did not progress in her career of nursing. But she stood on her feet. What did this child did? They said, Mommy disciplined that child last night. That was why they take that child to care. Not only that, if anything happened to one child, they will take all the children.
The whole children.
The whole children. And funny enough, I was a parent governor in that school. So I said, don't worry, we go to next meeting. I'll go with you. When we get to the meeting, they were just panicking because I found out the teacher that raised concern was the one that ended up fostering that child with a partner in the same school, assistant head teacher of a school. I said, this is nepotism. This is injustice. Now, how many people make decision whether they should take that child into care? 4 people. 4. The teacher, head teacher, a partner, and social worker. They did not even inform third party. That was initial decision. They now escalate to the child protection plan because people will start telling you, oh, we don't take children. It's a long process. They need to go to court. They need to do this. This is the process. But there are a lot of atrocity that these people are committing behind the scene until you get involved and ask them for scrutiny of process, policy, procedure before you realize the injustice that is happening to families. Now, we intervene. We realized they've completed court proceeding. The woman used legal aid. She did not win. She hired private lawyer. She ran into debt of £7,000. She did not win. And what was the judgment? They said the children will not come back until 18 years. Jesus. That was how we started supporting these parents. And that was the parent that made us to initiate the course, Afrocentric Parenting Life Skill Development Program. And immediately we initiated that. More family come around. We wanted to do face-to-face, but that was when COVID struck. We had to resort to the online. And when we go online, it gives room for people to join across the UK. In fact, people join from US, they join from Sweden, they join from Canada. And when the woman completed this course 101, we also go for course 201. And after the course 201, 101 is a general parenting, 201 is parenting teenagers. Because that teenagers period, there are a lot of challenges, behavior you have to manage properly. So we went back to court, myself as McKinsey friend. We read some things, law about understanding the law. I put the mother through and we won. More than 8 lawyers stood against us. But we won by God's grace.
Wow.
But before then, I also called for praise nights. A month before, I called for praise night. And I invited the senior pastor from Oxford Brookes University. She lives in Milton Keynes. I said, this is the word we are facing here. It's genocide. Because people will tell you, social service don't take your children anyhow. It is a lie. There are local authority that we got some good social worker. I cannot dispute that. But there are some local authority, the way they took or get involved is uncalled for. There are reports out there. And just after the conference, there's a senior social worker for England, Isabel Troller. She said, children and babies are wrongly taken into care. They said they are too fond of investigating family rather than supporting. And she branded it as injustice. This is the reality.
That is true.
In care system, in social care, there's what we call care and control. When a parent doesn't change or you put a plan, early intervention support, and there's no willingness or the parent lack insight to understand what the problem is to that child,
Yes.
they will take away that child. Okay. But you don't give African those opportunities. We've got local authority that they even supported the family, while British with £10,000 because they are dealing with drugs. But unlike African family, Asian minority community, a child go to school, you are asking them leading questions. Because like those parents, those school, it was leading questions they're asking. In fact, we got family that they go to school. The first week they got to school, they're asking them, did the mommy used to beat you? Are you happy? Are you sad? They give them different things now, up with different emoji. And they teach the children how they can use those emoji. But the courses we are doing now, it helps parents to understand their child, connect with them emotionally. Because the same challenges you are facing in your workplace, in your school as adults, these children are facing it in school. Especially the young ones you bring to this country. They are facing catalog of bullying, rape, and not between them and their peers, even between the teachers to them. There are teachers that are inflicting this on them as well. So these children want to speak with you as a mom, as dad, but you are not there. You are there physically, but you are dead emotionally, psychologically. You are not there to support them. So thank you for inviting me for this platform, because I believe it's a platform for people to take a step back. When you are coming to this country, you need to take a step back. You need to decide whether you are really coming or not. You need to decide, are you ready to learn? Are you ready to unlearn? You need to decide what is the situation of your relationship if you are married. Is it healthy or not? Because domestic violence, domestic abuse has impact on these children. In fact, when you come nearly, you hear your child, Daddy, mommy, stop screaming, stop shouting.
You're shouting.
So that is it.
Wow, that's really interesting. So, coming, I know I've not been too long in this country, but sometimes as Africans, I live in Scotland, and you know the way they raise their children is very different from the way we raise our children. And sometimes I call myself, I'm like, I speak to myself, I'm like, wait, how can I balance these two things? How can I balance the way people raise their children here and the way I am taught or how I was raised? For instance, now, my children know that, you know how they call people by their names? My children know never to call me by my name, you know, which is a bit conflicting to what they are being taught here. Because I'm an African mom, or give me things with left hand. So sometimes you're in conflict of where do you balance these two, you know, this training of how they are taught in school and the things they are being taught with. In fact, for that, we had to leave a town we were before. We moved to a town that has a good Catholic school, and my children attend Catholic school, which I know is still, you know, close to, you know, good standard of how you want your children to be raised. Do you think, as an African parent, and you that you've been here for so long, and since you're in this, do you think the way we raise our children, do you think sometimes we go overboard? Do you think sometimes we do too much? Like Nigerians will say, like, you do too much. Do you think sometimes we African parents, do you think sometimes we do too much? And that is why it is mostly African parents that are the target of all these social workers. Because I don't know, maybe because I'm African, but sometimes, I think most times if you're an African parent, you're actually scared of, you don't want to do anything before a social worker will come and catch you. So are we target, or is it the way we are raising our children? Do we need to like relearn and unlearn some things?
Yeah. Like I've said, majority of people, they tie me to cultural competency, cultural differences. Not only that. It is just prejudice, double standard, unfair treatment, discrimination in a way. For instance, let me tell you something. In a school that I said I was a parent governor there, I've seen a white British child doesn't want to come to school, and the parents were dragging that child on the floor. A teacher was there, teacher were there. They did nothing. They see it as nothing. But I've seen a parent that they deported because the parent used his slippers to scare a child. And why did that parent scare a child? A child says she want to do this after school club, she want to do this, she want to do project, you want to do this club, 2, 3 clubs. And this is a single parent that is managing little money she has. And the parent said, I haven't got this job. I'm going for this interview. When I come back, then you are doing one. If I can afford two, I will let you know. Because the child bring that book to house to sign it, mommy did not sign it. And the child doesn't want to go to school. Mommy said, I said, and the child said, the mommy scared the child. The slippers. And that's what they wrote in the report. They deported the mom after she spent 18 months in prison. And who make the judgment that she did she abused her child? Who made that judgment? Juries, members of juries, full of white communities, white British. Because we are not in the system. We lack our representation there. Nobody could understand that mommy scared, mommy shouted or screamed just to caution that child. But they see it as emotional abuse. In fact, what stopped them to understand why mommy cannot afford 2 clubs? What stopped them to say, is there any way we can support this?
Support you.
And we've seen parents that even struggling, they ask for support. Rather than supporting them, you escalate the matter and you just put their children in protection plan. We've seen cases that they said there's a shortage of police, isn't it? Even if they said mommy beat a child, discipline a child, you will see 4 or 5 police in your house. But there were shortage of police, but they could be able to available when it comes to Africa. So what are we calling this? Ordinarily in Africa, there are things we can do, there are things we cannot do. And that is why that course is about setting boundaries, maintaining that your parental rights. However, create that conducive environment, atmosphere that your child will feel free to speak with you. Don't put tension on them. You need to take a pause when you come to this country. It's like a nurse. If they want to inject you or they want to give medication, hello, my name is so. I'm here to treat you today. This medication is this. Will you mind take it? And I do this. But where you come from, you think you are helping that person, you just do it.
You just turn the bomb.
But yeah, you need to, if a child asks you, mommy, why? Why do you say I should go upstairs? Why do you say I should not wash this? Why? Explain to them. Because in school, they will tell them, this is what we are going to do this afternoon. And at social time, we are going to do this. Okay. They understood it. But back home where you come from, somebody did something wrong. You just discipline that child. You know that child did something wrong. You discipline that child. But that child doesn't know what he or she did wrong. Communication. Let me give you an example. I built a very good relationship with my kids. A friend of mine just came last week. I went to the chamber. I asked question to the mayor of the town that how much do you spend in buying gifts for children in care? And how much do you spend in supporting families? They spend 1.44 million pounds buying gifts, and they spend £0 supporting parents. That was 2019. Now he wants to contest again for mayor. They asked him that he is the one that is putting a lot of money in children's services, and to the extent that it's become worse, that they were only spending money. Even the money is supposed to spend on other things, they keep spending on children's services. When there are reports that there are a lot of children that are not supposed to be in care. Oh, he said, he's the one that has been doing this one since 2019. He lied. And I wanted to tell my friend that this is what the mayor just lied about. And I asked him to go to the YouTube, watching it. My daughter was there. My daughter just tuned TV. I tuned it down. He wanted to tune it up. I tuned it down. And she left us where we were. And I went out after a couple of hours. I saw my friend off. When I came back, it was late. I did not see anything on the floor. So in the morning, 6 a.m., I woke up. I was tidying the house. As I was sweeping, I got to the entrance. I just saw notes, paper, A4. I am sad. I wanted to put the volume down. You did not allow me. Daddy, put it down. And in the morning, that was when I saw it. So I also went to go and take same paper, another one, and I wrote there, love, I'm very sorry. This is what happened actually. I love you, daddy. And I put it on the bed, cover clothes with her. When she wake up, 6 years old, when she wake up, I said, go and make your bed before you come downstairs. She went back, she now saw that note. She took time to read it. And she came out, she smiled. Did you got my message? I said, yes, love, I got it. Did you got my message? That's what she said. So, is it in Africa I will write, I'm sorry? Is it in Africa a child will tell you, I was sad? Even with the TV, say, you cannot even sit down close to me when you are watching TV. So, you give them that confidence to speak with you. If I've not built that relationship, this is a child of 5, 6 years old. She knows the statistics of children in care. She knows how they're abusing children in care. She always tell them in school, the teacher. So no teacher can brainwash her. So if a child now got to school and they were doing something emoji, happy, sad, what will she do? She will go and tell them sad. And they will start asking questions. But rather than that will happen, we had it conversation at home. A lot of parents, your child want to speak with you, what they're experiencing in school. Oh, I'm going on shift. The only day you are available, you are on phone. You are not listening to them. You are not creating time for them. They took a child. They wanted to take a child into care last month. They called me. When I intervened, they eventually asked the mom to go to hotel. They booked 5 weeks hotel for that mom. When she finished the 5 weeks hotel, when she returned back home, the children have already done, because they already once they get involved with you, they're already brainwashing them. And if they separate you as husband and wife, you have to be very, very careful. And that's why we said, once they get involved with you, before you say anything, before you do anything, get advice. Because there are things you have to do, there are things you don't have to do. Don't start talking about the matter with the children. Because the following day, they want to ask those children whether you are talking about the matter with them. And they will not start saying that you are telling the children to lie or not. Now, there's a company that they were working with, social worker are working with now. They outlet the service to them. They said they are keeping families together. Not all of them. One of them now told a child of 11 years old, can you give me your phone number? I will send an app to you. If you are happy, tell me. If you are sad, send to me. That child now said, can you please tell my mommy first? Oh, yes, I will talk to your mom. This is a social worker, they call family social worker. They're supposed to reunite, build relationship, but want to build evidence for them. Looking for more things to implicate families. Now she could not have confidence to ask mommy for consent now. Because that child is wiser than that person. What if that child has lost and just gave that out? You just see police turn at your door. They say, why? They say there's something happening. The child says something here. A lot of things is happening. And that is why we were bridging that gap. Majority of families, word of mouth, they've spread this thing that is happening to them. And when they see social worker, they hear social worker, they are scared. And guess what? Social workers are also afraid now to go out. In fact, we went to Luton. They were unable to come out of their office. Because we always give you information before we come to your local authority. If you want to work with us, fine. If you don't work with us, that's fine. We have method we are using. We use deliberation. We use demonstration. We use knowledge partnership. And we go by court.